Hey, it's Pastor John here with Coram Church. If you've been with us recently, you know we're going through our mission statement: love God, connect people, change the world. This last Sunday, we talked about changing the world and how the resurrection of Jesus from the dead is God's renewing power invading this world, and is a preview of where the story is going, a world where there's no longer any sin and death, and as the band Bad Religion says, there's no more sorrow. That's where it's headed, and that God is all about healing this broken world, and that God has a people, the church, and his power, his strength, his renewing power fills this people, the church, so that they might fill their community with the renewing power of God. And so we saw that in Ephesians chapter 1, that Christ is filling everything in every way, and he's filling the church with his power, so the church can fill the community with the renewing message and with the renewing presence and power of God. And sometimes it's easy for these things to kind of just live in the idea stage. And so I wanted to real quickly just throw out some practical things that you might be able to think through as you consider, what is that going to look like for you? How has God hardwired you as an individual to be about his work of renewal? So the first thing is, he has hardwired you for this. We are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which he had prepared in advance for us to do. So that's the promise. He does it. We're hardwired for it. We also know that his power, in us accomplishes it. But it's figuring out, what is that thing? So three approaches. One, spaghetti approach. Throw it at the cabinet and see what sticks, right? Just start trying things. Just look at, what are the opportunities to serve. Try them. If it works, great. If it doesn't work, move on to the next thing. I know that's really random, but for some people, it's just really helpful just to go for it. So the first one, the spaghetti approach. The second thing I would say is get connected with the life group. And let people watch your life and listen to the things that you talk about. Let them kind of see where your heart's at, and ask them to speak into your life and say, what do you think I'm passionate about? Who do you think God's made me to be, and how can I participate in making things right in this community? And what you'll find is that as people are in relationship with you, and they see you live your life, and they hear what you're passionate about, they're going to have a real sense of what's important to you, and that's going to help narrow your focus. And so being part of a community, a life group, is going to be really important to help you identify in which way you can serve. The third thing is just quite frankly, ripping off J.I. Packer in his book, Knowing God. He mentioned four things that he thought were really helpful in terms of identifying how God has hardwired us. The first thing was just taking a inventory of what are the needs that are around you. Look at the community. There's schools that are in need. There are soup kitchens and food programs that are in need. There are all sorts of community services that are in need. Just take a look and note what types of things kind of stand out to you. Your heart is probably going to be more prone to one area versus another area. So what are the needs that are around you? The second thing is, as you look at those needs, what sort of resources do you have to meet those needs? So you might say, you know what, I really have a heart for the music community, and so I want to be part of that community. I want to go to shows. I want to play shows. I want to be there. That's where my heart is at. And yet you may have no musical talent whatsoever. There's a good chance that might not be where God has hardwired you to serve and to invest yourself. So what are the needs? Second would be, what resources do you have to meet those needs? The third thing, it would be, when you try to meet needs, when you try to serve, when you try to invest yourself in a specific area, does it have a sense of being right for you? Is there a sense of fit? So when you do it, do you feel like, yeah, I think maybe God made me to serve in this capacity? And then the fourth thing would be, do other people feel that way when you serve in that capacity? So going back to the music thing, you might say, hey, I have a heart for music. You may even have talent. Maybe you can play the guitar. Maybe you can sing, whatever. You start to do that. You walk away and you're like, man, that was really great. I just really feel like that's what God made me to do. And then you might get some feedback and other people saying, I'm pretty sure that's not what you're supposed to do. You might enjoy playing. I don't enjoy it when you play. That might be a good indication that maybe that's not where God has designed you to be. So what are the needs? What resources do I have to meet those needs? Do I enjoy investing myself in that way and giving myself away and investing my life in that area? And does it feel right to me? And then is it helpful? Do people enjoy it? Does it seem to be fruitful? And I think if you go through that process, you're gonna find that your focus is going to be narrowing. You're going to be able to identify, here's the things I really am passionate about. There might be one or two areas where you feel like I've got resources, I have skills, I have talent that can be helpful in those areas. You might find a smaller group of those areas where you're like, yeah, I actually really enjoy that. And then you might see that one or two of those are actually fruitful for you. So it's a process for sure. Um, but hopefully this will help you kind of start going after it and figuring out where can you serve. How has God hardwired you to be about restoration in your own community? So I hope that's helpful for you. If not, feel free to email John, Jon, at Coram Deo Church, or if that doesn't work for you, just reply to this. It'll be on Facebook, and we'll do our best to get back to you. All right, take care. We'll see you soon.